ho, yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, welcome in to your favorite late night show and maybe your favorite version of your favorite late night show. It's a What You Drinkin' Wednesday version of the Outsiders on Orange Bloods Live, Texas and Baylor this week for probably the very last time, unless they're both really good and they end up in a playoff somewhere down the road. We're going to talk a little about that, and we have a very special guest tonight. We're going to get to all of that. First, let me remind everybody that it is the Outsiders brought to you by Poncho. That's right. A lot of great partners with this show. Poncho is one of them. I'm rocking the bandera tonight, the nice black short sleeve. You know what that means? Secret phone pocket. That's right. I don't look as good in it as Colt McCoy does, but if you go to ponchooutdoors.com, you can find some great stuff that you will look good in. Let me introduce you to your Outsiders. Your upper left once again. Oh, it's not a regular show, although that's what his shirt says. It is Chance Mock. Chance, what are we drinking?
Oh, as always, we're drinking El Ticuleño. We're going to talk about it a little bit, but it is, it's delicious.
There's a lot of ways to get tequila in you. For Chance, just suck it through a straw.
That's
Tequila
right.
through a straw, brother. Every single time. I love it. Upper right is Jason Dick. What's up, Mr. Dick? What are we drinking?
Evening,
I'm drinking
fellas.
for him.
Not a sponsor, but let's get to work on it. The white trash nectar of the gods, Diet Mountain Dew. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Woo! Hey, only thing better than Mountain Dew is healthy Mountain Dew. That is
I'm getting you Code Red Mountain Dew.
that is
that's fancy
fantastic.
stuff. Okay, that's for a special occasion on a Wednesday night. Get out of here.
Your lower right, rocking the old school Colt 45 hat tonight. I like that. That would be Chris Abbott. Chris, what are you drinking?
What's up, people? Just got me a fine Pilsner tonight, a little Miller Lite.
A fine Pilsner it is. Lower left is the country gorilla himself, Bo Edge. Bo, what are you drinking?
Well, until they pay for the sponsorship, it's Coors Light, but it's in a Texas cup.
The Coors Light in a Texas cup. Nothing wrong with
Once
that.
they start cutting the checks, then it'll be just a can of Coors Light. Till then, it's a Texas cup.
Nothing wrong with the Rocky Mountain cold refreshment. I am going back to that Yinling traditional lager in a Kesha koozie tonight because the party don't start till I walk in, gentlemen. That is where we get going.
Hold on. I got to ask you, though, and Blake may be able to keep this up. The party started for you last night, buddy.
The party did kind of start for me last night, if Blake wants to show the people.
There he is.
He walked in last night.
Yeah, there was a little going. I had a drink in my hand. I had the Cash shirt on, and I was about to see Pearl Jam for the first time. So, yes, it was a good Tuesday night at the Moody Center with the Sacamanos. It was fantastic. That's how old I am now that I go with the friend's wife, and the kid. The kid is like 16, 17 years old now. Bono's kid was the lead singer of the opening act. That's how old I am now.
Oh.
You understand that? That made me feel horrible when they leaned over. You know, this Bono's kid. Just shut up. Just shut the hell up and let me listen to the music. Jeez. No, Pearl Jam was excellent last night. And yes, I did get What Are You Drinking started on a Tuesday. And now we get to a Wednesday version. Speaking of the Wednesday version, we've had some good interviews. And we think we've got another one lined up. I've been waiting for this one. I've been excited about it. I haven't been pushing it too much. I wanted it to happen organically. And there ain't nothing more organic than Casey Stutter. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a time in my life when I was in the radio world where if Casey Stutter swore during a show, it was my responsibility. Tonight, in the YouTube world, it's kind of my responsibility to make sure he does swear at you on the Outsiders. I
There's
can't
no
wait.
dump button on the Outsiders.
No.
There's no dump button on the Outsiders. And all due respect to Chance or anyone who's worn that uniform, Casey is my favorite former Longhorn swearer of all time.
Wow.
All time. Love listening to the man swear. He weaves.
That is just bullshit.
He weaves the swear words like a genius. So I'm hoping we get some of that. It's 9:30 tonight. We'll give you a little extra time to prepare and to get the kids to bed and to get ready for the not safe for work that may be coming down the line. Is he going to out F-bomb BJ Johnson? I don't know, but we will give him the opportunity to do that at 9:30. That is going to be a lot of fun. Chance Mock, how hard was it to set up Casey Stutter tonight?
Well, as you know very well, Casey never has a problem speaking his mind or are getting on air. So it wasn't too hard. It took a little prying to pry him away from his poker game that he's in tonight. But, Kasey loves to have fun. Nobody in this world has ever accused Kasey of not knowing how to have a good time. Like he came out of the womb cracking beers and cussing. Like that's just the way it happened. So he's a lot of fun. He's going to be a lot of fun. And he's one of those guys. I know you've been around him, Chad, Bo. Yeah. Jason's got some stories that we're gonna
I can't wait to hear this one.
Yeah,
apparently
Jason's got a Casey Stutter story we got to hear.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one. Yeah, in Colorado, Chance, when the babies are born, they put a blanket and a Coors Banquet right there in the bassinet with them. That's how it works.
We're going with the banquet beer, huh?
Yeah, well, they want to make sure the kids are. Actually, I think they put banquet beer with the boys and maybe a Coors Light with the girls. Once they came on with the Coors Light, just a little slimmer, a little better on the calories maybe for that one.
I just love when Jason's telling us, he prefaced it by saying, this story makes Kasey and everyone else look really good. It makes me look really bad.
I'm the sad, pathetic one, without a doubt.
That sounds like a story we want. All right. So, speaking of Jason Dick, the Dick Move of the Week is coming up at 9:15. We're going to try not to forget that on this Wednesday. That'll be my job to try to not forget that. And, of course, as I mentioned, gentlemen, we got Texas and Baylor coming up on Saturday. So let's start the discussion this way this week. What do you need to see in Waco as the Longhorns start conference play? Obviously, outside of a win, you want to see that. But specifically, what are you looking for in this game? Chris Abbott, I'll start with you. Voice of the people. What do you want to see out of your Longhorns?
Yeah, well, I want to start off. I got one of my closest friends, longtime guy, played baseball with at MCC. He played right field for the Baylor Bears. Stood in my wedding. Loved the man to death. But Baylor is one of my least favorite teams in the Big 12. And so what I would like to see, I want to see that fourth quarter parlay itself over into the first quarter of this game. I keep beating the drum of the attitude and all that kind of good stuff, but I want to see Texas come out and take control of this game early and really and truly never let their foot off. I mean, there's going to be the ups and downs. Baylor's got some players. There's no doubt about it. But I'd like to see Texas, and they should out-athlete Baylor, and they should, in my opinion, they should handle them pretty easily. And I would love to see that from the jump.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to start, Jason, to talk about a good start. That's where Chris is starting, and hopefully the Longhorns will do the same thing because you can't stumble out of the block too many times without paying for it.
Yeah, I would just echo exactly what Chris just said. I know we now have a Chris Abbott video replay on the ready at all times. Just clip off whatever I said last week, right? A first quarter ass kicking. A first half ass kicking. Let's not go to the half in a tie game. Let's kick someone ass, and that way they win the game in the first half is what I would love to see.
That'd be nice, especially with a 6:30 kick in Waco. This new stadium is a pretty good atmosphere for them. That old Baylor line thing gets everybody fired up. Those students are insane in the yellow shirts and their GA section. They go nuts. If you give them a reason to get excited, they will. Got to shut them up early. Bo Edge, what do you want to see out of your Longhorns?
Well, to parallel off your point, Baylor put out a press release that they sold more student tickets to this game than any other game in the history of. And while McLean Stadium is the size of, like the practice,
what is that, like 500? What is it?
yeah.
45,000, I believe, is the number.
The stadium is sold out. This is their game this year. Their season is over. They lost to Texas freaking State, for crying out loud. Once you do that, no offense, Bobcats, but once that's how you start your season, there is no, it's over at that point. There is no big game at the end of the year when you lose to Texas State by double digits at home. I wrote one word down when I was putting this together, and we were attack. I want to see Texas come out and attack. Like the after the Wyoming game, they changed the defense that they had on tape. Rice didn't run the schemes we thought they were going to run. I don't care. Baylor's a wounded animal right now. They barely beat Long freaking Island. Okay? Baylor is wounded right now. Attack. Don't wait till the second half. I know I gave him a little bit of a pass last week when I said that's what Sark was trying to do. That's not what this week is. This is conference play now. This isn't Wyoming. This is setting the tone to the TCUs and the Texas Techs and the Iowa States of the world. Texas is leaving this year the same way we started it, by winning the freaking conference championship.
Last time in the Big 12 for Texas. Chance Mock, what do you want to see in this first conference game of what you're hoping is that last Big 12 championship?
Well, I think just a little combination of what everybody said. I mean, I do want to see us open up the throwing game a little bit more, but more than that, I want to see us run the damn ball down their throat. Nothing would make me more excited than that first drive right out of the box. If we're going to win the toss and we defer and the defense is out there, shut their ass down, and then come out there and the big nasties, and we'll have Kasey talk about this, big nasties maul their ass. Don't stop. Keep driving. Run screens, run running plays, and just let your line get settled in this game and really set the tone of this is who we are and you're not playing with us. Like, you don't belong on this field with us. Mm-hmm. That was something, and I go back to, we talked about it in one of the earlier episodes. Coach Brown, his philosophy was a lot of times, we didn't do it sometimes, but the philosophy was we wanted to come out and beat your ass early. So you had a clear understanding, like, are we clear? Crystal, like, yes, yeah. We understand we can't play with you, and set that tone from the get-go. I don't want to see the jabs. We talked about with Wyoming, sometimes you're just jabbing and see what. This is not a team to jab. This is conference. This is a conference that, wants to piss on you on the way out. Well, you know what? The only way to do that is to piss on them and leave them in the trail. Like, just have a nice day, guys. That's what I need to see.
Sounds like a Waco pissing contest.
Yeah, we don't need no pissing.
What are you going to do?
How about we just punch them in the mouth? We don't have to piss on them.
By the way, Chance, I'm just double checking the crystal clear reference. Was that A Few Good Men or Breakfast Club? Which one was that? Because it's both, kind of, right?
You figure it out.
Okay, all right. I love both movies. They're two of my favorites, so I was just wondering which way.
I will never throw a Breakfast Club reference on this show ever.
Come on.
Never?
I didn't. My mind never even thought of Judd Nelson. I was thinking strictly A Few Good Men.
You went A Few Good Men? Okay, good. I just want to make sure. That
it was Jack Nicholson, up there on the stand, Tom Cruise coming at him. Like,
I'll go Breakfast Club. I love that movie.
I didn't say it was a bad movie. It's just not where my mind went.
Never go to a Breakfast Club reference, but we'll talk about grown men pissing on each other. That's no problem.
There was no grown men pissing on each other. It was a one-way pissing match.
Figurative. It's a pissing contest, Jason.
What do you think happens in a pissing match, sir?
That is a weird turn of phrase, because I don't know that. I'm hoping that's not where it came from. I'm like, man, they're actually having a piss. Have you seen this? It's a look right there. Yeah, they're actually having a contest.
Well, Kasey will know this. Tillman Holloway used to watch, and we ought to get him on the show one day because he's absolutely hilarious. Another kid that was from Colorado, lineman, and another legacy player. Oddly, how those two things combined. But Tillman used to walk around the locker room and with nothing on. Like, he was like a magician. You remember in Evan Almighty? No, it's Bruce Almighty. When he just takes his clothes off, like he throws his arms off and the clothes come off.
Yes.
Like we'd come in from class and all of a sudden it was like a magic door that when we went through the door of the locker room, like Tillman was naked. And he would walk around with his lineman glove and he would just walk up to you and tap you on the shoulder. And if you turn around, he'd slap you with the glove and he'd go, challenge. And I'm like, are you challenging me to a duel with you naked ass? Like, go away.
Oh my God, that is fantastic. But it's not as fantastic as one of my new favorite chatters on the Specs chat line, Sandman, hashtag legitimately worth a shit. Thank you, Sandman. We appreciate you checking out the show tonight, and we certainly hope we are that. Somebody else on the chat. Oh, hey, it's Sandman again. I need to see Quinn from the 2022 Red River game. Well, that's a 49-0 reference, isn't it, gentlemen?
That is.
49-0. Let's salute that.
That was legitimately worth a shit, too.
Oh, my God. That was far better than legitimately, but that was just legitimate all day long. Ladies and gentlemen, random picture of Chance Mock shaking Vince Young's hand. What in the world
am I in the background?
The heck am I looking? Is that what that is?
That's Studdard.
Oh,
what am I watching here, Chance? What is that?
That Studdard, and this was when the freshmen got to campus. That was Vince Young's first day on campus, and that's Studdard walking in there with his little. That's when he had hair.
Wow, I have never seen Casey Stutter.
And you didn't on your face.
yeah.
And my glorious beard was not there. Yeah.
You're
what the hell is Vince wearing?
I was gonna say, Chance, you gotta step up your style.
Classic.
Well, no, what that was,
Dan-
see, what y'all don't realize, Vince was good at NIL before anybody, so he had the NASCAR shirt on. Those were all his sponsors.
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly. I was about to say, I really kind of dig the all NBA logo button up that he's got going on there. Does Poncho make one of those? Can we get Poncho to make up like a full every NFL logo on one of these shirts?
Just in case the NFL is, just in case the NCAA is listening, it was a joke, okay? I've gotten in trouble with this before. It was a joke.
That's right. It wasn't. Yes, that's totally a joke. It was just an NBA shirt that Vince had on. All right. So the guy in the background is who we're talking to tonight. Casey Stutter is going to join us at 9:30. All right. We will get to Jason Dick and the Dick move of the week coming up. But right now, Chance Mock's going to tell you about that stuff he likes to sip through a straw. What's up, Chance?
Well, it is so good that you can sip it through a straw. El Tiquilino right there. You need to get that QR code. I'm telling you, the stuff is so good. It's smooth. It's pure. Since 1952, it has been a staple in all Mexican restaurants across the land. It has been making white dudes dance really well. In some cases, made me sing really well at karaoke at Los Cucos right here in the Woodlands. But it's El Tiquilino. It's great. Now, in all seriousness, it's one of only 4 distilleries in the entire country that uses natural spring water to distill this product. Therefore, they do that through the distilling process. They pull out all the impurities, all the imperfections, the things that give you a hangover. Get the good stuff. Get El Tiquilino. You will love it. You will like it. And the people enjoy watching you dance while you drink it.
If you're out there, LT people, that's your new mantra right there, making white guys dance since 1952.
What is the go-to Chamaki jam? I got to know.
Okay, so this week, in fairness, I'm a Cody Jinks fan. Cody Jinks is my number one. He is that's my guy. Okay. And Mama's song, I always sing to my mother. And so Cash and I actually did a rendition of Mama's song to my mother on Tuesday evening. That was last night. Seems like forever ago because it was quite the long night. I was having as much fun as Chad.
I don't know if that's possible because I was hanging with Eddie Vedder.
From what everybody told me, I had quite the time.
From what you have been told.
So, Chad, make a note in your little Rolodex of all Chad things.
Yes.
When we get Keith Moreland on in the spring for baseball season, you're going to have to ask him his Eddie Vedder Pearl Jam ACL story where Eddie Keith Moreland sat backstage in a recliner for an entire Pearl Jam set at ACL, and nobody it wasn't Eddie brought him from their house. Nice. They were drinking the entire night, for 24 hours straight, I think is how it was relayed to me. Nice. Drinking red wine. He goes, "Oh, we got to go to a show." So a limo pulls up and they're like, "Come on, Keith." And they just brought him with it. So Keith Moreland and his wife were sitting in 2 recliners. They pulled up literally behind the set.
I don't doubt it for a second. Even if you don't like Pearl Jam, if you love sports, you got to love how much Eddie Vedder loves sports, and that band loves sports and Chicago sports. So, yeah, Keith Moreland, no matter how much Keith Moreland loves Pearl Jam, there's no way he was excited to meet Eddie Vedder more than Eddie was excited to meet him.
Oh, well, when they came in, so his son Cole was the one that told me this story. They played their set on the Friday night back when the opening or the main act did both nights. Mm-hmm. So they played the Friday night. After the set, he went over to Moreland's house and ended up drinking wine on the patio until the next show was supposed to start. So the limo just pulls up and grabs him and takes him to the stage.
Awesome.
And they made him come with them.
That is awesome. Yeah, Keith Moreland's got some great stories. We got to start. Yeah, we'll get those racked up. If we can get Keith on this show, we'll just get him to tell all of them in succession. All right, so as we get ready for Texas and Baylor, we'll be breaking that down tonight and tomorrow night. Remember, we got a Thursday night show tomorrow at 9. Specifically, I want to get Chance Mock talking about 3-3-5 defenses tomorrow because that's something that Sark has had trouble with, and we'll see what he thinks Sark and Quinn should do to deal with a 3-3-5 tomorrow because that's what they're going to have in Waco and in a couple other places this year. We will get to that, but we also need to get to the Dick move of the week. So for that, we turn to our man, Jason Dick. Hopefully this week, the Dick move of the week isn't us because I remembered this time.
You didn't
Jason
come to me 24 hours late, so I do appreciate that this time. This is a 5-pronged Dick move of the week. More significant. Wow. Some of the prongs more significant than others.
You got to get that checked out by a doctor. If you got a 5-pronger, man.
The Colorado
Buffalo football program
Number one, bad apples in the fans who are making death threats to the Colorado State players. Knock Travis Hunter out of the game. Threats under no circumstances ever acceptable. I don't love prong number 2. I don't love Coach Prime's dismissment of it. Okay, he did the right thing by coming out and saying, "Yeah, this is not cool," but he kind of did had a dirty hit if you want to. Maybe the guy was, just playing hard, bang, bang, play. But death threats are not acceptable. Just say death threats not acceptable under any circumstances. It's like if anybody has ever, I sometimes call this a Jason Dick. If you're apologizing for something, but also explaining how it's that person's fault. Like, honey, I'm sorry. I can pass out with my pants in the front yard again. But you're the reason that I'm sorry is what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Speaking from experience. Prong number 3. If you guys are going to play a 4.5 hour, can't kick it off at 9 p.m. Okay, Daddy gets sleepy. Daddy gets good, and you can't play until 1 whatever in the morning. Prong number 4. I picked Colorado minus 23.5, and so now I'm dummy, and somehow Bo Edge and is way ahead in the pick'em contest. Number 5. If you're going to not lose the game. This win in overtime. Now I have to listen to another week of people saying Colorado could go to the college football playoff this year. Give me a break. You're going to be 6-6 would be great. But now I have to listen to another week of Coach Prime saying, "Oh yeah, we're resilient. What we do." So Colorado, the fans, Prime, the timing, dick move.
Come Sunday, you won't have to worry about prong 5 because prong 6 is going to be Oregon kicking their ass up and down the field. If they play like they played against Colorado State against Oregon, it's over. It's bad enough that you're hyping your team up and you're a 20-point underdog. But if you go and let them beat that spread and Oregon wins by 21 plus, what's the conversation going to be then?
Well, and I have
an Oregon team that should have lost to Texas Tech, by the way.
Right. By the way,
but Chance picked them, so
I
that
was going to say a bad word, but I'm going to save those words for Casey.
Mm-hmm.
No,
he'll take all the bad words.
That's right. No, look, I'm with you a little bit, Jason, on this, and here's my issue. My issue is, number one, Bill Parcells, one of his favorite things that he used to say was, football is a collision sport. Dancing is a contact sport. So it's a sport meant to be played violently. Number 2, look, you cannot expect to run around saying it's personal, you've made it personal. Him and Norvell having their thing back and forth. The players are hyped up. That and the guy takes a shot. Number 3, since we're doing 5 prongs, number 3, we have the ability now to slow that play down so much. Yes, he took 2 steps. He did. But I don't think his intention was to hurt him from a standpoint of like, make a statement. We're here to play physical football with you.
Yeah.
His intention was not to lacerate his kidney or whatever it was that he did. Okay.
Right.
Number 4, if you want to pump up and have that attitude, and look, Colorado fans, spare me the bullshit. I don't want to hear it. None of y'all were in the stands last year. Now all of a sudden y'all are all super fans putting death threats on people. Pound sand, dude. That is so ridiculous. And number 5, the final thing, I think it's very, very easy for Deion because Deion was a different dude. Deion walked the walk. He talked the talk, okay? He did talk smack, but Deion also turned it off the field, and he backed it up on the field, okay? Most athletes are not Deion Sanders. Like, that's just a fact. So when you're breeding this mentality, this dog mentality, a leader and a dog, and you're breeding that mentality, you've got a bunch of kids that are, Deion's like a dad, right? And they're fighting their ass off to try to impress dad. So now you get this little chippiness edge. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to maintain if you open that jar.
Yeah, no, that is fair. All right, gentlemen, I see that our man might be getting hooked up and ready to go. So let's maximize our opportunity here. That was your dick move of the week. Talking a little bit of Colorado State craziness. Bo, let's tell them about Last Stand because I think we got another badass interview coming.
Yes, we do. This interview and all the interviews on the Outsiders is brought to you by Last Stand Apparel, the true fans brand. I'm wearing a Last Stand hat right now. You can see some on the screen. If you're familiar with going to Texas, baseball games, football games. You've seen Last Stand hats everywhere. The all gas, no brakes, the DBU hats, all of the above. Scan the QR code, promo code Outsiders10, get your discount. They also have a new line of polos that are pretty darn awesome, but the hats are that's their calling card. And you want an entire array of Last Stand hats. I promise you can get one in every color, every style, and not just for the Longhorns in your life. They have a lot of different teams, SFA, like Chad's family, or Texas Tech, or they have a variety of schools. Go to the website, click the QR code, Last Stand hats.
Oh, hell, there he is. There he is. Mr. Stutter, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Mock?
How are you, brother?
I'm good. Sitting here just having a Coors Light real quick.
Are you playing poker?
I'm down to Hundo.
well, we'll get you back there soon enough. Hey, I don't know if you heard that last conversation because I think you and I think the same. Football is a violent sport. That hit on Travis Hunter, it may have been late, but when you're trying to set the tone physically, there's times, and I know that for me, we had guys that you want to go set that tone and be like, look, we're going to be here all day. Did you see it that way, or did you see it as he was actually trying to hurt him?
The reason why I came to Nathan Vasher against Texas Tech on that punt. Remember when they 2001 and Texas Tech threw that bomb and Nate Vasher was back there to punt return and just took him out of the game. You remember that hit?
Oh yeah.
Look up that hit there. I was like, oh, I like that. That's the reason why I came to Texas, because it hit like that. But I didn't see nothing wrong with it. Yeah, when you slow it down, yes, it looks that's slow-mo. That ain't live. You know what I mean? I got dirty personally.
Well, all right, you're breaking up a little bit, but let me ask you about this
right here. Is that
that's a lot
better right there?
Yeah, now I can see that beautiful mug right there.
There it is.
There he is.
Yeah,
hey,
no,
all right. So
I think honestly, it was that dirty of a hit. I mean, I honestly think it was one of those things where when you slow it down and slow-mo, yeah, it looks pretty bad. But when it's not in slow-mo, live action, I mean, that's in every routine hit to me. But we're in the soft ass, everything's a flag.
Oh, it is. And I'll tell you, as a quarterback, I look at some of these hits and I'm like, how is that a penalty? Like, I enjoyed, it sounds stupid. I like getting hit because to me, it got me in the game. Like, that's when it's like, all right, those competitive juices gets going. I'm like, screw you. I'm about to beat your ass, And now they've turned the game into this soft ass game.
Well, it's all trying to, protect the quarterback, no more concussions and blah, blah, blah. But, at the end of the day, football is not soft football. It's just, how like the old guys, and you got, the era when my dad played from 79 to 89 when the guys were just, forearm, clothesline across the middle, there's no hole in football. When we played was still like that, but I think it all changed once they started taking 2 days away, like 2 days. And the worst thing about the freaking O-line, the reason why the offensive line play good offensive linemen anymore is because all these fucking high schools, all they are these spread offenses, and these linemen are 2-point stances their whole life, and they never had to put their hand in the ground and had to go dogs. You know what I mean? I think that's what's killing old linemen in Texas right now. Is everyone's in a high spread offense, and there's no, there's no high schools that run the ball anymore in Texas. I mean, you know better than me, Chance.
Dude. Well, like, let's look at that. We were talking about what do I want to see. So what do I want to see? Even as a quarterback, I want to see coming out on Saturday, I want to set the tone, and I want to set it with the big boys. I want to see runs, and I want to see screens where these big dogs can get out there and punch them in the mouth and set the tone early. And that's something that y'all's group used to do so well. Followed up by the group that, that was there with me early before y'all got in with Big Lynn and Dockery and, Matt Anderson and Big Wax, all those guys, and y'all brought nastiness. And the offensive line has kind of lost that. We saw glimmers of it against Alabama where they were finishing blocks, and then all of a sudden last week it kind of teetered a little bit.
That's the one thing I don't get is the ups and downs where it's yes, for years the last 15 years, yeah, we've been playing down to our opponents, but I don't know, like it's hard for me to wrap my head around because I wanted to be a big chew in and hang out with the guys. That was like, this could be up like 40 points. Young guys get some reps. And it's for me, it's hard to see someone's throat. And the whole steamrolling thing, I don't see it. It's like, yeah, you're not going for some DBs, but it's there's no assholes. You know what I mean? There's not some guy that's out there really trying to like take someone's face off. If that makes any sense.
Well, it does make sense, Casey, and I think it takes that guy. Like, you were that guy. You were that dog. We talked about Dion with the leaders and the dog. You were the dog, not necessarily the biggest guy on the line. I mean, look how big Lyle was, and Jay Scott and Tony, and those guys, they were huge. But I think you set the tone and brought the attitude to that. Even Big Blaylock. Blaylock was, he was nice, but all of a sudden, this dude that came in as a freshman, as a nice, good physical specimen, turned into just a dick on the field.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just a mentality. It was just you never want to lose, right? And then good offense with you. You got a badass offensive line with you, and you have that confidence. When you have a confidence and you got everyone kind of coming together, it's a lot easier to talk shit,
Would you remember? Hey,
kicking everyone's ass.
Were you there? Were you there yet when we had the fit wristbands when it said FIT?
Oh yeah, I had that here.
Do you remember what the fit wristband stood for?
It was it?
Fuck it.
Yeah, it was fuck it, wasn't it? Yeah. Those didn't make me too bad. I think that the Bears owner, it wasn't made us. You thought about the game. Remember when we played Missouri, and in our locker room, the whole week was, it was Brad Smith on the speaker. My name's Brad.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna kick your ass, Pete.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. All right, Casey, I'm going to bring the guys in because I know they got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
And Jason Dick in particular, I know Jason. He has got a.
I didn't know Jason was up there. Hey, hey, there's no good radio anymore, man. I listened to you. I'm glad you're back on.
Thank you, Casey. You're too kind.
No, I missed it. There's no. I'm like, oh, Jason's back. Oh, thank God. It's good to see your face, man.
All right, Jason. So Jason,
I think you want me to go. Okay, this is less of a question, Casey.
Sorry,
and more just a longish, sad story. I hope my Wi-Fi will hold up. About a sad man, me. Okay, it's Casey Studdard's birthday. I'm going to say 10-ish years ago. West 6th Street, maybe at a place that people used to drink on West 6th Street. I did not know Studdard's birthday. I only know because the guy in front of me is trying to talk capacity, as you would at Casey Studdard birthday party. The guy in front of me in line is trying to talk he's like, I was Casey's teammate. I played with him at Texas. And I'm looking at this guy, and he's got to be like 5'10", 180. And I was like, who is this? This is some walk-on kicker. Later, I learned that was Cedric Griffin. So that's how much I know that I don't know shit.
God dang.
That was Cedric Griffin. So I get in. I have a couple beers. I see you. At this point, you had been on out St. Patrick's Day a couple of times, and I was like I'm a and I walked up to you, and I started to introduce myself, and you were like, Jason, I know you. I remember. Let's party. Let's drink. And I was like, Casey Stutter remembers me. It's great. And birthday. And you said, what are you doing tomorrow? Out on the boat. We're going out with Lake Travis. We're going out on the boat. And I was like, I'm going on an NFL boat party. Let's go. Let's go. And you gave your phone number and said, text me in the morning. I'll leave you all the details where we're gonna take off and we're gonna pick up. And I was like, all right, let's go. I'm gonna go on a boat party with Casey Stutter tomorrow. Do you guys want the sad, pathetic version of the story or the extra sad, pathetic?
Oh, the extra. Definitely the extra.
Normally, a Friday or set on West 6th Street, I'm gonna do so much damage to myself that I am not anything the next day. But the rest of the night, I was like, mind your behavior because you're going on Casey Stutter tomorrow. And so I went home early, got a good night's, woke up in the morning, put my swim trunks on. All right, my beard. I was like, all right, let's go. And then I fired off a text. I'm like, Casey, what up? Happy birthday with you. What's the deal with the boat? Ghosted. Okay, no reply. I waited a couple hours. We were out for a bit late last night. I was like, I don't know, maybe the boat party starts in just text again. I was like, hey, I got a bunch of things going on, so I was just wondering like what's going to happen with the nope, no reply. I don't even know if that was your real number. Did you give me a fake number, Casey Stutter? Because I did not go on the Lake Travis boat.
I honest to God, I don't remember that.
No, of course you don't. Of course you don't. You're Casey Stutter. Why would you remember that? I remember it because I'm a sad beta radio DJ. Okay. You should definitely not remember.
Hey, at least you didn't get a text back that said, like, sir, this is a Wendy's or something. Like, at least he may have just typed in the wrong number, or you, in your inebriated state, may have mistaken a 6 for a 9 or something, and then,
Dude,
it just didn't work.
I can tell you, I went through 8 phone numbers.
That's the case. That's the case. I'm sorry.
That's classic.
I'm sorry.
Casey, I think we need to have we need to relive the boat party and invite Jason.
It'll be a sad ass boat party.
All right, Chris Abbott, you want to ask Casey Stutter something?
Yeah, I do. Hey, Casey, how you doing, man?
Good luck following that one up, Chris.
I don't even know how to follow that exactly. Yeah. But hey, listen, when you were there, you were part of the that offensive line. When you were there, y'all pretty much just whipped everybody's ass. And back then, Texas was it was at the top of the list in the country, top 25, top 5 most of those years. And speaking along those lines of that offensive line and that just kind of nasty mentality, was there a moment or was there a play in there where you just completely whooped somebody's ass that you remember or that you hang on to in all those years you're on that line?
Like a cool one was against Oklahoma. It was, the quarterback sneak with Colton went for like 15 yards on just pure OU. So that was cool. Coach Akina had me on fucking punt block. So that was that was like being a low line was cool as shit.
Dude, I could see.
Did you ever get one? Did you get one, Casey?
Of a couple of them. I never put my hand on them.
I could see Casey. Casey, I could see Akina right now. Casey, come on, Casey, get in there. Get in there, Casey.
Oh, yeah. You gotta crush him. Yeah, that's all it was. I was a wedge breaker. He's like, Casey, I want you to come over here and just break up the wall. I said, all right. And that's what we did. Me and Killebrew went over there and got one together. That was pretty cool. But first play against Oklahoma, I remember my senior year in Pitt, and I chucked him like 4 yards. I was like, I'm gonna kill this guy all day. I broke some kids. I remember there's a tight end for A&M. I was on punt return, and tall joker, like 6'3", and he was coming down the sideline, and I caught him right underneath his chin. And when was it? It was like after the game. He came up to me. No, it wasn't after the game. I think it was in a calm out like a couple months later or whatever when I hit him. So I caught him underneath the chin, like he didn't have a mouthpiece in. So like all his teeth right here, like broke in half.
Oh.
Wow.
Dang.
That's a
I was like,
cheap
damn,
shot.
my bad, man. You should have wore a fucking mouthpiece. Should have wore a mouthpiece. Sorry, man.
You had the mouth sell 'em. All right, so I'm going to
Yeah.
redeem you, Casey. After you hung Jason out to dry and made him feel like a
Literally dropped.
loser.
I wanted to jump in the lake, but I was.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell the feel-good Casey Stutter story of the night. You may or may not remember this. You've played in the golf tournament that I run called Super Cooper a couple times. About 5 or 6 years ago, we were at the event at Star Ranch, and there's all these people walking around, and young 7, 8-year-old Cooper was feeling real shy. He had to go hit a golf shot with the TV camera and everything a few minutes later, and he kind of went off to the corner of the lunch area, and he was crying. And there weren't many people around because everybody had already gone out to their carts. I saw you and didn't say a word, but you walked over there and talked to Cooper for about 5 minutes, just talking to him. I have no idea what you told that young man, but all of a sudden he popped up on his canes, and, I mean, he was invigorated, basically ran out the back door. And the only reason I know this story, because I was busy running the tournament, is his mom told me the next day, who was the big old guy with the beard? Because he made Cooper's whole year with whatever the hell he told him. So whatever you did wrong to Jason, you did right to Cooper. And that's more important because kids are more important than Jason, even if he acts like a kid.
Yeah, no, that
I was acting like a Make-A-Wish kid.
that's a
Sorry, that was.
I love you. Like,
There went your next boat party invite.
Yep. Now you're done. Now you can't get on the boat.
Now you're going to get thrown in the lake.
No more boat. Oh my God. Hey, Casey, one more quick one, and we'll let you get back to poker. Since
all good.
since this is now a world where your swearing can happen and be encouraged, what is your favorite swear word and why?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Do we have to think about it that hard, Casey?
I like to say cunt a lot. That's fun. You can't really use that one a lot.
All right,
Wow.
first outside C word. Did it? Yeah, we did it.
Bunch of cunts,
The one word we
you bunch
can't
of
say.
cunts. I like that one. I like that one.
All right. All right. Hey,
God.
I asked.
I
All right.
love you, Casey. For this.
We just need to hope that our mothers are not all watching. Chance, would you like to say anything else to Casey Stutter, or are we going to let him play poker?
Go play poker, win back your money. I'll call you tomorrow, bro. I love you. I appreciate you.
Love y'all, boys. Y'all be good.
Thanks, Casey.
Thanks.
Oh, my God. Casey Stutter. We definitely need to do that again. The connection was weird.
Yeah, the connection was a little off.
He might be being held hostage right now. I'm not sure. It looked very sketchy. I don't know if he's in a barn somewhere with bad
Chad,
Wi-Fi. What is
The number one rule that you were taught in radio even before I got in radio: don't ask a question you don't know the answer to, and you let him right into it's a trap.
I tried to save it. I tried to throw the F word out there.
Hey,
Hey guys, real quick, why was it that the clearest thing he said in that entire interview was that word?
yeah, right. You notice that got really
It
clear.
was perfect.
The
Connection.
cursing gods shine
Perfect.
upon us.
Oh my
The
God.
connection robbing so many curse words from Casey, but they were like, give you this one.
Oh my God. I hope my mother's not watching tonight. If she is, it's the last time she ever watches The Outsiders. Thanks to Casey Stutter for joining us. We will probably try to do that again at some point. Casey is such a blast to talk to. And yes, he was a part of that big time O-line back in the day. Our man Chris Bennett was throwing in the mention of Killebrew and Studdard blocking a punt in 05.
Yep.
We'll give him credit for that. They did a whole lot in 05. I would not doubt that one. All right, before we get a little more in, gentlemen, Bo, you mentioned Star Ranch when you were talking about that event. Let's talk a little more Star Ranch for the people.
No doubt, Jason. I know you got your Saturday morning golf all lined up. Are you playing Star Ranch this week?
I am not playing this weekend, but I will look forward to getting back on Star Ranch soon. It's my favorite Central Texas. My apologies to the good people at Star Ranch that your endorsement is supposed to the use of the C word on this program. That's not how it's supposed to work. But no, Star Ranch is my where the fairways are plentiful and the greens roll. Number one, my favorite thing about number one at Star Ranch, Bo, can hit it in the number 10 fairway, and it's fine. Okay, it is a high quality resort level golf, but I'm not going to shoot 113 like I will at many of those other places. So yeah, join me at Star Ranch 25 Golf. Probably click on the QR code right there as well. Make yourself a team for this weekend. You'll find me out there as well. 252 Golf, Star Ranch, the official golf course who don't say the C word.
Well, hey, Jason.
As far as you know,
not to go Casey Stutter, but if I gave you my number, could I get an invite to the golf match on next Saturday?
Yeah, I'll text you. Just text me in the morning. I'll let you know.
Text me when the tee time is. I'll be there. Oh wait, I'll know because I have to call and set it up.
I'm gonna text
yeah. See,
him right
that's
now.
one thing. As I'm hearing that story, Jason, I'm wondering if someone is not actively not getting back with you, is it a ghost, or is that still a ghost whether you mean to or not? Because I don't think Casey Stutter meant to do it.
Yeah, I guess he would have to write me one text message ever and then stop talking to me to be ghosted. This is some different level of disrespect where he might have just given me a fake number. I don't know. I don't know.
Did you actually say, hold on, let me try to save Casey here. Did you actually say, hey Casey, it's Jason, what's up at the boat party? We're like, or were you just like, hey man, what's up at the boat party?
Listen, I remember exactly as I said, my brain was probably not functioning at 100% capacity that day, but I'm pretty made clear. I was real excited. I was really excited to go on the boat. All right.
You know what? I think Chance Mock is bringing up a great point here, because if you just tried to go, conversational with him and just your number popped up and not a name, if your name wasn't in there, then he looked at it and went, well, I don't know who that C-bomb is. So no, and he just could have just put that away, right?
Who is this rando?
Well, and I want to know,
yeah,
to complete the story, did you ever converse with him via that number ever again? Or could you possibly have not put the right number in a inebriated state?
I looked, I was hoping that I would still have the text saved. I have a number here, but if I pull up Casey Stutter that history, so it's too long ago, it's been deleted out of
Maybe
there.
you should get with Chance and he can give you the proper number.
Oh, that was fantastic. All right, it is the Outsiders. We got a couple more minutes here, and we'll get back into a lot of Texas and Baylor talk tomorrow night on the Thursday night show. Chance's thoughts on the offense and trying to deal with that 3-3-5. We'll get you all of our picks for that game. And of course, the Bet US picks, where Chance and myself and our producer are doing terribly, and Bo Edge is leading the way. But we're going to try to turn it around tomorrow night. There's always a chance, right, Chance?
There's absolutely a chance. I'm toying with Bo. I need to let him feel, because, he's a Titan fan. I need to let him have a little success, a little fun, and then we'll do what we do, and we'll just turn it on in the end, and we'll win.
All right, that's what I'm going to try to do.
The Titans have the same record as the Bills and didn't lose to Zach Wilson, so I'll take my chances.
Ouch.
That was at paying respect for Aaron Rodgers. Okay,
they didn't pay him respect when they blew out his ankle.
Respectful loss. Respectful overtime loss.
We were saving that bar in Green Bay the money that they were going to lose.
Oh my God!
You can make fun of my Titans 6 weeks from now, but right now we have the same record, and our loss was to the Saints, who are 2-0.
Can I say something though? Mr. Four turnovers on the first weekend is the AFC Player of the Week this week, so you can shove it.
Well,
if everybody got to play the Raiders all the time, then they'd all be Players of the Week.
That is a bounce back. That's a bounce back. You just got to play who's on your schedule. That's what you got to do. Got to play who's on your schedule.
We're going to do a Josh McDaniels defense anytime, and you're going to be – and no, I know he's not the defensive coordinator, but his team's defenses always suck.
You know who's on that staff? You know who's on that staff? My buddy Danny Amendola is on that staff now.
I hope he's not coaching the defense, because they're bad.
He's coaching the punt returns, but we only did that once last weekend, so he didn't get much work.
Oh.
Speaking of playing who's on your schedule, Oregon pops up on Colorado's schedule. Bo made reference to it earlier. We were talking about Colorado in the Dick Move of the Week. Is there any doubt, gentlemen, that the one Pac-12 game you'd have to watch this week, if I just give you one, is Colorado-Oregon? Or would you rather see the Utah game or the Oregon State-Washington State, we're all that's left game?
No, Colorado,
Oh,
Oregon.
there's only one game.
Yeah, there's
right. Is
there's
it
only
Colorado,
one game
Oregon?
for me.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry, Chris, I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm much more intrigued by the Oregon to see what Oregon State actually is, because Oregon State they've assembled a lot more talent than people realize. They've become like the transfer portal home for a lot of players that were disenfranchised at other places, including like I'm never going to try his name, the former Clemson quarterback who was replaced by Cabe Klubnik. Like Oregon State has a lot of talent. So if they come out and whoop Washington State's ass, Oregon State's that type of team that goes under the radar, and next thing you know, they're 8-0 and in the top 8, and people are wondering how they got there. Like, we know who Oregon is, and I think we're about to for sure find out, but I think we know who Colorado is too.
It's going to be an interesting game. Colorado-Oregon, by the way, is a 2:30 kick. That Oregon State-Washington State is a 6 o'clock game. The Utah game is a 2:30 as well. So if you like to complain about Pac-12 games, these are all reasonable times. Jason Dick, you can watch all 3 of these games and still get to Betty Bye.
Yes, I do not want to watch in my pajamas. All right.
Yeah, right. You'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. And we'll see how Deion's team reacts going on the road. This will be their first. I mean, nothing against Fort Worth, but I mean that's a pretty good road environment. Autzen Stadium is a little more legendary when it comes to playing out west. So we'll see what Deion's crew looks like in this type of game. And
without Travis Henry,
Travis Hunter.
Yeah. Without Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. Sorry.
Yeah. Or Travis Henry, to be fair.
So
Neither of them.
So far today, you've called him Derrick Henry, Travis Henry.
I've never called him Derrick Henry.
Yes, you did about an hour ago.
I think it was Chris Abbott that did that.
I did. I gave it to Derrick Henry. Sorry.
Yeah, Bo's not drinking a Frosty Coors Light in that Texas cup.
Yeah. Now, if you could put Travis Henry, Derrick Henry,
show you what it is.
If you had Travis Henry, Derrick Henry, and Travis Hunter in their prime all on one football team, that'd be a hell of a team. I mean, you could do some stuff with that. So do we feel like Colorado's going to eat a loss this week for sure?
What is the line in that
big one
game? What did we say? It's 20?
20, around 20. It's been bouncing around.
I have
so it's
no
Oregon.
idea. Do not that game. I don't want either side. Okay, I refuse.
You don't want that one
to endeavor coach prime gambling for the rest of the season, probably. But no, they are definitely going to lose that cover, but they are going to lose to Oregon.
Chance, you agree?
I absolutely agree, and I think we discussed a little bit on Monday, and I think this is the fact of the matter that front offensive line that they have at Colorado is not very good, and the bigger teams that they play are going to expose that. And Shadeur is, I mean, he's a great quarterback. And the way that he was able to bounce back and lead his team back, and, you know, it got a little heated there, and he did have the eye poke deal, but that was after the shot on his buddy. And, you know, throw that noise out. He's played with a very level head. Everybody said, you don't know what it's going to be like coming to D1. And he said, okay, well, let me show you what it's like coming to D1. And he's done everything he's been asked to do. But at the end of the day, if he's not protected, he is but one guy. And that's going to be a problem for this Colorado team going forward. And the bigger teams that they play they're gonna expose that. And unfortunately, that's just the case. And until they get a bigger offensive line, which you go back to the days when my dad was playing, and at Texas Tech at the time, they had gotten up to the number 5 ranking. And they were that was the highest ranking Texas Tech had ever had. And they were going in to play Colorado, and Colorado was massively huge. And Bill Parcells told the story before the game about, you know, Leonidas and the 300, and all right, we're going to have to fight in the shade, because he was talking about how their offensive line was so damn big. But that's not the Colorado of today. That's not the Colorado that offensive line that Eric Bieniemy ran behind when they had, you know, Cordell Stewart. There was a whole different deal, and they're going to get exposed.
Hey, can I ask you, Chance, and I guess Shadeur Sanders, what do you think of his NFL prospects? Because my radio partner, Nicholas Haja, this week, I asked him, if you had to buy stock in NFL stock in Quinn Ewers Sanders, he said Shadeur Sanders. And look, you guys know me to be a little critical of Quinn Ewers every once in a while. I thought that was crazy.
I think it's a system play, right? I think it is whichever system he goes to. They're two totally different quarterbacks, in my opinion. I think Sanders' arm, the one thing that's blown me away is the strength of his arm, the ability to throw the deep ball on a line, his out routes, that little corner ball where you're hitting what we call it, you know, it's a little pocket ball in between cover 2, and he's able to put it on a line and beat the safety and the corner there. Like I've been I've been shocked at his arm strength. I think it's been phenomenal. And I've got nothing but a hats off to the way that he's played. So NFL prospects, I like him. And here's the other thing. He walks in day one to an NFL camp and knows how an NFL quarterback is supposed to act. He's talking to Tom Brady. He's talking to his dad. He understands the preparation it takes. The limelight is not going to affect him. He's been in the limelight since the day he came out of the womb because of his dad. He understands it. I think the kid's future is really, really bright.
Chance, I agree with you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bo.
Well, I was going to say, like you mentioned a minute ago, he brought that team back against Colorado State. Like a lesser quarterback, and we won't get into any names, but a lesser quarterback would have folded in that scenario and just lost the damn game. And Shadeur made it happen. And I think Sanders he's got a really quick release. And that helps him out too, because it can make up for a lot of mistakes when the ball comes out fast.
Right. And I think that, like Chance was saying, to me in the NFL, that swag that guy carries, I mean, that's half the battle the way I look. I mean, the guy's got the tools. I mean, he can move, he can throw. The guy's got the tools. I mean, walking into that locker room and knowing you're supposed to be there, to me, that's half the battle. And I think that's why you see a lot of these guys, they don't pan out. You know what I mean? They got arms, they got everything, but they don't have that mental side of it, you know?
Yeah, I think if I could combine both route trees, I think that would be good, because I like some of the things that Ewers can do kind of at the mid-range level, and I love Sanders deep, and I love Sanders. Sure, they're both pretty good on the short routes. I feel like if I could combine everything, it'd be great. That's, to me, what Sanders just needs to work on, Chance, is that, you know, the 10, 15-yard outs, those just bullet out routes that, you know, an NFL guy's got to be able to hit. But then also this week when they play USC and other games, he's getting pressured a lot more than other guys. We were looking at numbers today on the 12-3 show about guys like Ewers, whoever you want to say, Ewers, Wegman, Caleb Williams. We were just looking at different quarterbacks, Penix as well. They're getting blitzed about 15% of snaps, but for Sanders, it's twice that. It's like 30 to 35% of his snaps he's getting blitzed. So we'll continue to see that development for him. But I like Bo's comment too. They were down 11 in the fourth quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think. And yeah, for him to show that moxie, show that leadership and figure it out, that was a big deal. And now let's see if they can go at least make that, you know, can they make it a game into the fourth quarter? Can they scare Oregon enough? Make it a game? Can they actually block and tackle with them? Or is it just going to be one of those pushing and shoving things but that's what people thought TCU was going to do to them.
Well,
don't forget they're playing without arguably their other most explosive offensive player too. So you're without Hunter, you know.
Well,
that's true.
But,
right.
but if you want to talk about the maturity of Sanders, I think there's something that you need to see. We all saw the eye poking deal, right? It's one thing when a quarterback can stay out of it and keep a level head. He got in the mix and was able to, in the heat of battle, gather himself, recompose, and get above it and stay right there. Like, that's a huge amount that takes a lot of character right there and a lot of maturity, to be honest with you, to be able to get to that level and then draw it back and say, okay, let's go take care of the job at hand. My hat's off to him.
No, it was impressive. All right, just about to wrap it up here. Before we do, let's tell you about some of the great partners here. Let's start with the drink for this week's game, and that is Specs. Specs chat is fired up. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. We're going back to the text.
That was the drink on 6th.
It's Jason Dick. Did you give me a fake number? I did not. Damn.
So I sent that during this program, during the show, and apparently that's the real Casey Stutter who left me for a boat party.
Okay.
2012.
There it is. Okay. He left you hanging.
Oh
He did.
my God.
He did leave you hanging. Specs will not do that, though. Specs will not leave you hanging. SpecsOnline.com is how you do it. In fact, Blake, let's fire him up 15 seconds. Get the Queen of Specs telling them, reminding them what they need to do for this weekend.
I'm not mature.
No matter what you're needing, Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs. Cheers to saving.
Again, specsonline.com. Remember, they cranked it up a year before Texas won their first national title in football, 1962. They've been doing it since then. They'll get you all stocked up if you're getting ready for a watch party and not headed to Waco. If you want the food part of it, Bo's got an idea for you there. That would be Stuffed Cajun Meat Market. Bo, tell them about it.
Oh, Stuffed is phenomenal. It has the best array of sausages in all of Central Texas, going all the way to Louisiana. They have 4 different kinds of boudin. They had the Louisiana Lightning, the Tiger sausage. You name it, they have it. Stuff Foods. Hit the QR code. You'll see the entire array on their website. They can do the Casey's boudin dip that we've talked about on this show multiple times. They can put together an entire tailgate package. Whatever, like, you can call them, have it ordered on a Thursday, pick it up Friday or Saturday morning on your way to tailgate. Whatever you need off their list, crawfish etouffee, gumbo, you name it, they have it. They even have beers there if you want to pick up a 12-pack of Coors Light on your way to the tailgate. It's Stuffed Cajun Meat Market.
All right, so we got your food taken care of. We got your drink taken care of. And remember, don't go to the game naked. You might need a poncho shirt like Colt's got right there. That's a perfect one right there. Maybe go with some sleeves to protect you from the sun, the burnt orange, because you'll be rooting for the Longhorns to beat Baylor in the last game they may ever play on planet Earth. PonchoOutdoors.com. Bo, you rocking a poncho tonight?
I'm rocking the exact same one Colt's rocking.
Same one Colt's got on right there.
Version.
And let's just say a Bo Edge might look better than Colt McCoy in that shirt. That's up to y'all to decide.
No.
Which one was the NFL quarterback? I can't tell.
Images. It's just like the scary double Chris Abbott from the other night.
The difference is
spooky.
One of us would text you back, Jason.
There you go. PonchoOutdoors.com. Also, you see it in the upper right. Thanks to Last Stand, the good folks at Last Stand, for helping out with the interviews as well. Thanks to Casey Stutter. The connection was a little weird, but we got some good stuff in, including Casey Stutter's favorite swear word, which I will never forget for the rest of my life. And this might be my final Outsider show for asking that question. Thanks to all the Outsiders, guys. If they let me come back tomorrow night, we'll do it at 9 o'clock. Chance will talk some 3-3-5. We'll make our picks for the Texas Baylor game, and we'll see if we can get some Bet US picks where the rest of us can do well, and maybe Bo Edge won't be so perfect because he'll be insufferable if he does 3-0 again.
If I'm 9-3 for the year, we may be off the air because I'll be so annoying.
Oh my God, it'll be brutal. We'll see what happens tomorrow night on that one. Thanks to Blake, the super producer, for getting it all done. Thanks again to Casey Stutter for jumping in. Tomorrow night at 9 is when we'll hit the next Outsiders. Early tomorrow morning, it is Get Your Horns Up at 6:30 a.m. Chance Mock, you got something before we get out of here?
No, I'm trying to compose myself. I'm not mature enough for this. That is just like I'm red and just laughing.
All right, Chance Mock. Do you see that? That's maturity right there. Wait, right there.
There's none. It's out the door.
Beautiful. Maturity's gone. That's what the Outsiders is all about. All right.
I'm just waiting on a boat sitting on the side of the lake.
Until 9 o'clock tomorrow night, we hope all of you get your invite to the boat party and the person actually hits you back. And remember, we're the Outsiders, and we are legitimately worth a shit like Casey Stutter's boat.
Hey, people, this is the time. I mean,